Hi, I'm Iris Matthews, a romance author. We are wrapping up our conversation on Dreaming of You, Lisa Kleypas's 1994 novel, with a discussion on titles and covers. In my recent Run, It's a Call for Submissions video, I mentioned that one consideration authors should make when it comes to their publishing route is control of naming their book and the look of their covers. For self-published authors, they have complete control that is only limited by their abilities and maybe their time. If an author doesn't have skills in design or the visual arts, then they can hire an artist. If this is the route you choose, then a good rule of thumb, and this applies to cover design and titles, is to study other recently published books in your subgenre. It would do little good for me to study thrillers when I write historical romance. If an author goes with trad publishing, then they give up some of the control, as the publisher has artists and cover designers. With that said, the publishers want books to sell well. They invest a lot of time and money to study trends and shelf appeal, because the old adage, "Don't judge a book by its cover," well, it just isn't accurate. People buy books because of covers sometimes. That doesn't always mean they read them, but profits come from purchases. So, what's trending? The colorful, cartoon, graphic covers have reigned supreme in the broader romance genre for several years now. And the trend is even starting to creep into historicals. But this fad is relatively new, and eventually it will run its course. How do I know? Because there's a fun history we can look back on and plenty of articles and studies about romance cover art. Here are some highlights. In the 1940s and 50s, there were drawn movie poster style covers. In the 1960s and 70s, clinch covers, those sexy embraces with models posed, and then artists painted a rendition, were the prominent covers. In the 80s and 90s, there was a move toward discretion. So the front cover had an innocuous image, but if you opened the front, there was a step back, step, S-T-E-P, with the classic clinch. The 90s also ushered in the era of big country manor houses, so we see this in my copy of Dreaming of You. Regardless of the fact that much of the novel was set in a London gambling club, and only one small portion took place at a mutual friend's estate. The 2000s brought us partial bodies, headless models, inanimate objects, and bold colors. Think of those eye-catching Twilight and 50 Shades covers. In 2009, the publisher, Avon Books, an imprint of HarperCollins, did a reprint of Dreaming of You, with a dark-haired woman turned away walking up the stairs in a beautiful red dress. It's a classic faceless model image that we saw a lot of at that time. But what's interesting here is the big glam up scene for Sarah Fielding has her in a blue velvet gown, and the next significant dress we see her in was a green emerald. That was the last cover change I found for US print runs of Dreaming of You. But there are many covers for foreign editions, and Goodreads has a page with various copies. So check that out. But in the spirit of the cartoon graphic covers, I decided to mock up a design in Canva. I don't think I'll be making my cover art in the future. Anyway, a quick note on trad titles. Again, Dreaming of You is the second book in an interlinked series, The Gamblers of Cravens. The first book is titled Then Came You. As an aside, there's a great Reddit post about those covers. But why was Dreaming of You used as the title? Obviously, I don't know Lisa Kleypas, and I have no connection with Avon Books. I don't really know, but I can speculate. My guess is that the title was picked less for its relevance to the content and more to do with market trends. It sounds romantic and dramatic, but neither Derek nor Sarah were wishing to find love. However, there is one very brief dream, so let's read it together. This is on page 185 of my copy. She fell asleep with Perry's name on her lips, but when she dreamed, it was of Derek Craven, his dark presence filtering through her sleep like a ghost. She played a game of hide and seek with him, running through the empty club, giggling wildly as she sensed him drawing near. He followed her intently, closing in until she knew there was no chance of escape, except one. After finding a secret door, she disappeared into a tunnel of darkness, concealing herself. But suddenly, she heard the sound of his breathing. He was with her in the shadows. He caught her easily and pinned her against the wall, laughing at her startled gasp. "You'll never get away from me," he whispered, his hands sliding roughly over her body. "You're mine forever, only mine." Sarah was awakened suddenly by a tapping on her door. Later, just after their wedding ceremony, Sarah tells Derek about this. So we're going to read that on page 278. "I dreamed about you," she confessed. Derek smoothed his hand over her chestnut hair and brought her head closer to his. "What was I doing in your dreams?" he asked against her lips. "Chasing me," she admitted in a mortified whisper. A delicious grin curved his mouth. "Did I catch you?" Before she could reply, his lips were on hers. So in this, we see either Lisa Kleypas or her team pulled the title from the text directly. Other times, the romantic titles of the 90s and 2000s were more based on a series hook, a theme, a device. For example, in Lisa Kleypas's Wallflower series, the 4 books are titled Secrets of a Summer Night, It Happened One Autumn, Devil in Winter, and Scandal in Spring. Sure, the books take place in the correct respective season, but titles follows trends too. If we look at another author, we can see this play out. Sarah MacLean's early books have long titles such as 9 Rules to Break When Romancing a Rake, but her newer books have short, punchy one-word titles: Bombshell, Heartbreaker, and Knockout. The long and short of it is that titles are more fixed, while cover designs can and are changed with more regularity, but both follow industry fads. Thanks for joining me on this Dreaming of You deep dive. See you next time.